Bringing back rights. After the father was diagnosed with half-body paralysis, he signed all his money to his oldest son. A few months later, the father died, leaving all his money divided between all his three sons as the religion asks, despite the fact that his contract with his oldest son before his death prevented all that. So the son took the money and ran away to the desert to reclaim goods from such a big space as his uncle did and made massive profits. A day later, he arrived with his uncle to the land to see how to take advantage from it. On that day, the camel he was riding was obeying his orders, but it changed suddenly. As it saw his friend's nephew, it started taking off and disobeying him. His friend started hitting the camel and humiliating it till it fell down. After that, he rubbed some dry grass on the camel's nose, therefore the camel went back to obeying him all day. Later at night, the uncle told his nephew, "The camel is acting weird tonight and something doesn't feel right. It's been looking at me angrily and copying my movements. I'm not going to sleep in front of the house like every night." The uncle got up and made his bed in front of the house, and without the camel feeling any movement, the uncle set his pillow where he's supposed to sleep and put the blanket on as if he's sleeping there. Then he sneaked in the house with his nephew and got up to the roof to see what happens. A few minutes later, the camel moved towards the bed, slowly thinking that its owner was there sleeping, and with the speed of lightning, it jumped on the bed and kept stepping on it with its feet and chest and shredded it with its teeth. When the camel was done with it, the owner called for it from the roof and the camel was shocked to its core, realizing that he is still alive. It started spinning around itself, making weird loud noises till it fell on the ground. On the next morning, they found the camel had died as it didn't move from its place. When they cracked its chest open to see why it died, they found its heart exploded out of subjugation. The oldest brother cried, saying to his uncle, "This is an animal, and that happened to it out of subjugation. Imagine how my brothers felt of subjugation and unjustness out of my betrayal to them." The uncle was surprised by his nephew's talk. When he heard the rest of what happened from his nephew, he got mad, saying, "Now you understand why the camel looked at you strangely and started acting crazy when it saw you? Son, injustice will be repaid 100 times more on the judgment day, and every victim to that has an answered prayer. And remember this hadith by Allah's Messenger. Allah gives respite to the oppressor, but when he takes him over, he never releases him. Just go back to your brothers in the morning and tell them you only left to check in on me. Then give them what you owe them, and Allah will bless what you have and double it with His permission." Indeed, the oldest brother returned after he asked Allah for forgiveness and repentance. He gave them every single penny he owed them afterwards.
ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين